What up fam, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to get the best exposure results on the GH5 Mark II. Whilst I'm using the Mark II, I know this will also work on the GH6 and probably also any other camera that has preview LUT monitoring. My personal style is run and gun in direct sunlight. I do not have a rig, I believe in minimum gear. I understand everyone has different shooting and artistic style, so please keep in mind this is only how I do it. Sorry for the audio, I recorded this out in the wild on my phone. I will be showing you how to make a false color LUT in your camera in DaVinci Resolve, how to load it onto your camera, as well as how to use it. I will walk you through setting up your zebras, your waveform monitor, and how to use them all together to nail exposure. Let's get into it. I'm in DaVinci Resolve. Here we have a gradient PNG to demonstrate the false color LUT. First I will create a serial node, then right click, go to LUT, and then choose your false color LUT. As you can see, it shows a range of colors based on luminance. In the dark areas it's blue, in the light areas it's light gray, yellow, and red. The values that we like are the medium gray and green. These colors are the colors that we want on our subject. I have applied it to an actual clip so that it's easier to visualize. The main subject, in this case the hat, has the grays and greens on it, with the highlights light gray and yellow and the shadows in blue. The false color LUT in this example is from Color Grading Central. The link to the video is in the description. To save it, right click on the clip with the LUT on it, go down to Generate LUT and select Panasonic VLUT. Title your file and save it. Then just transfer it over to your camera's memory card and put the card into the camera. Now you are ready for the tutorial. Press the menu on your camera, then go down to the gear icon and over to the second camera icon shown here in blue. Go to Vlog Assist and then go to LUT Select. In this menu, you will select the false color LUT we just created, or if you already have one you prefer, use that instead. Then scroll down to Zebra Pattern. Go to Set and select Zebra 1. For Panasonic and Vlog, 40% gray or correct exposure happens at 42%. The Zebra has a variation of 41 to 44%. This means that anything in your scene that's in this range will have stripes on it. It's a nice telltale to let you know which parts of your scene are exposed correctly. This is for Vlog, please keep that in mind. Finally, go to Waveform Monitor and Vector Scope. Select Wave. This will turn on your waveform monitor. With everything enabled, you should have something that looks like this. The waveform monitor should be visible. The screen should have crazy colors because of the false color LUT, and the zebra should now be enabled. Please keep in mind that based on exposure and scene, your colors and zebras may be different from mine. The zebras may not show up if you don't have anything exposed in the 41 to 44% range. Your colors may also be different based on the luminance values in your shot. Please go ahead at this time and set up the rest of your settings, because we're going to save this as a custom preset so that we can flip back and forth to it very easily. For this preset, I recommend using the settings you will probably use the most based on your shooting style. For example, I shoot outside in nature and direct sunlight most of the time. Generally, I've found that my favorite setup is 1/25th and f4. I shoot 4K 60p, so per the 180 rule, you should double your frame rate. If you are shooting 24 frames per second, use 50 or 48, or for 30 frames per second, use 60. It isn't a big deal if you don't want to do this step because it's all adjustable anyway. Generally, I adjust the exposure using the ND filter and the aperture based on what I'm shooting at and whether or not I need a lot of the scene in focus. High F numbers are more focal range, and low F numbers are that sweet, sweet bokeh that everybody chases. To save your preset, go to the menu and go to the wrench or spanner icon, then go to the gear icon and select Saved Custom Mode. Select whichever number you would like yours to be. I keep mine on number 3, and then I keep 4K 24 on Custom 1 and 4K 60 on Custom 2. This allows me to change back and forth to my exposure setting with a single button click. It's very fast and super efficient. I highly recommend you use custom modes. First we have the waveform. That's the little graph in the left-hand corner. The white line is the actual waveform. The sweet spot for your subject is going to be around the fourth line. This is about 40%. It isn't going to be the end of the world if you're a bit above or a bit below. Like I said, my shooting style is on the move. Just try to get it as close as possible. These aren't studio conditions with lighting setups and big rigs. As stated before, you want to get the subject near the 40% line. You might be asking, how in the world do I know where the subject is and all of that mess? The line looks pretty uniform all the way across. Well, I'm going to show you my super secret, super technical master technique called the finger wiggle. Wait for it. Boop, there it is. Too easy, right? Now I'm going to adjust the exposure using my variable ND filter that I have on the front of the camera. You see the waveform as I try to dial in the correct exposure for my subject, the palm tree. This looks about right. I know the camera says I'm underexposed by 2/3 of a stop, but that's for photographs and this is for video. Honestly, even if you don't have a waveform or zebras, if you expose video with your histogram or just the correct exposure per your camera's metering system, it's still probably going to be usable. The waveform is nice because it shows you what's going on in terms of exposure across your entire shot. Here is the result. All I did was a simple color space transform on DaVinci Resolve and threw on the included Fuji Eterna LUT. I think it's 8563 of the numbers. As you can see, it looks pretty nice. It was an overcast day. Everything's exposed properly. Nothing's clipping. Nothing looks blown out. I didn't really adjust much in terms of contrast or anything like that, and it came out pretty nice. I think getting the correct exposure makes your workflow so much easier if you try to get it right in camera. I hope I was able to help someone out there with this video. Naturally, everything I mentioned is true to my particular style. This was meant as a general guideline. There will be variations based on how you like to shoot, what time of day you're shooting, what kind of lighting there is, and generally how you like to process your video. If you want to expose to the right to reduce noise, then do so. If you want to try to get the skin tones at a certain exposure, cool. If you're shooting at night and want the scene darker, then go for it. This was meant as sort of a middle ground that will give you the most latitude to push and pull your shots around in grading to get your own personal desired look. I generally favor saturated, warmer tones, but everyone has their own vibe. Go explore and enjoy, and thanks for watching. I hope I helped and didn't waste your time. Have an awesome day.